I'm going to talk about their 5th round pick first, and that is Anthony Gould, who I have mentioned multiple times. And I just, this is the guy who I just feel a tugging on my heart for him, that I think he's going to be special. And he was drafted primarily as a punt returner, kick returner in the 5th round, Oregon State. Um, Not necessarily your flashiest draft pick. He is technically a wide receiver, and I thought this was a great move by the Indianapolis Colts because we have the dynamic kickoff this year, which is supposed to improve kick returns, and they are already getting ahead on that. They're specializing in that. However, I also pointed out you have now on the Indianapolis Colts, you have Michael Pittman Jr., obviously, Josh Downs, Alec Pierce, A.D. Mitchell, and Anthony Gould. Okay. Alec Pierce, he's a pure deep threat. Like, he's not great, but he can catch the ball deep. He can be a weapon. Michael Pittman Jr., amazing. We know. A.D. Mitchell can be a deep threat. He can go across the middle out of the slot as well. And Anthony Gould, I said, is going to end up being Josh Downs' backup. And I was holding on to that. I think they're similar players. I think they can be used in similar ways. And what do you know? Josh Downs gets a leg ankle injury in training camp. We don't know if he's going to be ready for the regular season. Guess who was out there for first team snaps? You might not have noticed him, but I noticed him. He didn't catch the ball. He didn't get targeted, but I noticed him out there. The Indianapolis Colts are planning on using Anthony Gould as Josh Downs' backup if he is not ready for the regular season. So Colts fans, I am telling you, pay attention to this guy, especially as we get closer to the regular season, because he's not only going to be a special teams unit, he is going to be utilized as Josh Downs, who had a fantastic rookie season, as his backup. And he might even get used as A.D. Mitchell's backup if something happens. I don't think he could quite back up Michael Pittman Jr. I think you need a different type of player for that. But I'm just saying, watch him in the preseason, because that's going to kind of prepare you for what you might see week 1 if Josh Downs isn't ready. The other guy, and this is a guy who the only reason I've been paying attention to him to start off was because he's from the same hometown as me, and that is Craig Young from Fort Wayne, Indiana. Now, Craig Young went to Wayne High School, which, to be honest, just isn't – they're not known for having a great football program, not a lot of winning records. But Craig Young was a standout. He was a standout linebacker when he was in high school, went to Ohio State, finished up at Kansas, and now he is fighting for a spot on the 53-man roster for the Indianapolis Colts. And he looked great. He had 4 solo tackles and 1 assist. His overall grade was a 73.4, and we're talking as a rookie, undrafted, first debut. He had, I believe, the 2nd or 3rd most tackles of any defensive player on the field in that game. And his coverage grade was a 79.2, which I pointed this out for the Moo Moo Meta video. A lot of preseason stuff is man coverage. You don't see a lot of zone. You see zone sometimes, but a lot of it is man coverage. Craig Young has the potential, I believe, to make this 53-man roster on a team that doesn't have a ton of linebacker depth. They have Zaire Franklin and EJ Speed. And after that, it's kind of up in the air, in my opinion. I mean, Jalen Carlisle, okay. But, I mean, a lot of these guys, I could easily see Craig Young making it into the 2nd string, maybe even fighting for a third spot starter on those rotational sets with Segun Alubi. I don't think he's quite that same type of player, but definitely could see him being a backup to EJ Speed eventually. So we'll see what happens with Craig Young, but I'm saying Indianapolis Colts fans, that's 2 players on 2 different sides of the ball you should be paying attention to, because those are guys that I believe can make the 53-man roster that aren't necessarily being talked about right now. And something we're trying to do is point out these guys ahead of time so that when you're with your buddies at the bar or watching the game over at their house, you can be like, oh, yeah, Craig Young, He came in as a practice squad player out of Fort Wayne, Indiana, and now he's getting snaps. He had the third most tackles of any player last week against the Broncos. So keep an eye on him. Number 49, Indianapolis Colts.